Hello, everyone. We've got something really special for you. Gentlemen?
Maid got a shade on, sweet Georgia Brown. 2 left feet, but oh so neat is sweet Georgia Brown. The guys all sigh and wanna die for sweet Georgia Brown. You wanna know why? I'll tell you just why. Well, it's been said she knocks them dead when she comes to town. Georgia Brown, it's a shame how you mow them down. The only fellas that she can't get, they are the fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her, sweet Georgia Brown.
Hello, my name is Barbara Johnson. I am a former member of the wonderful Harwich Cultural Council here in Harwich and currently advisor. And we've got something very special to introduce here. An event that is coming up that is going to be so exciting and so much fun. And before we get into that, we will give the introductions. Again, my name's Barbara Johnson, and here is...
My name is Julian Jackson. I'm a jazz DJ at WOMR out of Provincetown. Happy to be part of the event.
And I'm Lou Colombo. I'm an old-time trumpet player from way back.
I'm Paul Nossiter, and I was partners with George Ween in the founding of Storyville, Cape Cod in Harwich.
I'm Bart Wiseman, a jazz musician on the Cape and executive producer of the Provincetown Jazz Festival.
Welcome, gentlemen. This is a very stellar ensemble here. We, the Harwich Cultural Council, recently, well, it's been in the works for a while, looking to see what they could do to fundraise and bring forth something really, really special. And Harwich has a cultural treasure that not many people know about. And our chair, Pat Stackhouse, who has been a jazz enthusiast all of her life, had heard about this old-time jazz nightclub in Harwich called Storyville, where some of the greats came, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Benny Goodman, and it's like, wow. She went to the Harwich Historical Society and went over to the library and went through all the books and the newspapers and everything, unearthing this incredible bit of history that Harwich participated in such a celebratory way. And we thought, she brought the concept to the Harwich Cultural Council Committee and said, what about bringing back and honoring Storyville? And this way we would be tapping into what we do best on the Cultural Council, which is to honor culture in the way of humanities, interpretive sciences, and the arts. And this would be a way to bring back something fun and exciting, raise some very necessary funds so that we can continue to meet the level of grants that come into our community, and maybe make some more money, because we have such a creative citizens and artists, and that we want to really serve them well. So we thought this is a golden opportunity, golden. And so Pat went and researched this, and we gradually put together this wonderful event that it's going to be coming up June 30th. We'll get on the more details on that later. But this is to honor the American jazz, and to pay tribute to Harwich's participation in this, which is just amazing. So we have this wonderful party coming up that we're going to be celebrating June 30th at the Wychmere Harbor Club. And it's going to be, we're billing it as a serious concert because of the caliber of talent there and the kind of music that's going to be gifted to participants. And it's going to be dancing and lots of fun, and we want you all to come and enjoy this wonderful occasion to celebrate jazz and rhythm and blues and Dixieland music. So I'm going to start with speaking to Paul Nossiter and ask him the question to please give us some information about how this came about, Storyville, Cape Cod.
Well, George Ween always wanted to have a club on Cape Cod, and I was friends with him, and I had moved to Cape Cod, and he came down, and we went around looking at rooms, and we found a place called Robin Hood Inn, which was shuttered, closed. It was owned by Mr. Thompson, who, of course, was very much involved with Wychmere Harbor and Thompson's Clam Bar and all the rest of that. And we thought this was it, and we rented the place from him for the summer. And in the next 4 years, we proceeded, you've named so many of them, to have some of the great stars of jazz. We also started out as a restaurant, and we had perhaps the hippest menu ever created. My wife, Cal Colby, did that. For every item on the menu, we had a quote from either a jazz musician or a critic of jazz. I'd just like to give you one or two of those.
Oh, that's fun.
For instance, for a ground sirloin steak plate, we had a quote from Stan Kenton. What we have done is taken something old, some familiar elements, put them together in a totally new way. All it takes is genius. And then we had a small sirloin steak, and for that we quoted Nat Hentoff, the critic. A great work in miniature. The incandescent imagery of its style more than compensates for its relatively minute dimensions. You'll hear more of those later on.
Just wonderful. Anything else about the Storyville? I mean, was it well received here in Harwich?
Well, we opened with Louis Armstrong and Phyllis Diller on July 4th.
Oh, wow.
Yes, a strange combination, but it worked. And we were packed out. And we had groups like the Kingston Trio, and we had folk singers like Odetta and Pete Seeger, and we even had comedians like Shelley Berman, for instance. And the first year, we lost a lot of money, mostly because of the restaurant. The second year, a little bit. The third year, we broke even. The fourth year, we were set to make a lot of money, but we had a bit of a disaster. The Kingston Trio couldn't make the gig. And that left us in the lurch, and that was why we closed it after 4 years.
But that was really a wonderful endeavor. And we just wonder if some of those old vibes are still lingering here in Harwich and to be tapped into.
Well, I think Storyville, Cape Cod, after we got out of there, became your father's mustache. And then there was a big fire that burned it down. And today, if you drive by that area, it's on Pleasant Lake, just past the general store on Route 10 there. You'll see nothing but McMansions if you drive up there. So we were ahead of our time there.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having been part of that creation in bringing it here.
You're very welcome.
It's a true treasure. Thank you. So the next question is is there now a jazz society? Bart.
No, there's no jazz society. Jack Bradley was the fellow that started it, and he's the best. He had he was Louis Armstrong's, he had booked him there, and Bobby Hackett, he was his manager. And Jack is always trying to bring jazz back here. He was responsible for a lot of great things happening.
Well, what about the jazz scene on the Cape? Bart?
Well, I'll answer that. I'm happy to tell you there's very much a jazz scene on the Cape. It's very much alive. From restaurants from Falmouth to Provincetown. Some of the people here you can catch Paul at Duck Creek and Wellfleet, the Lou's at the Roadhouse, Black Cat and Sopranos, just to name a few, and Hyannis and Mashpee. In the Grand Crew, we have the Hyannis, we have the Riverway, up in Yarmouth, Summerstock and Dennis, and right here at Bishop's Terrace in Harwich. So we have a lot of restaurants and clubs that are participating. We also have a jazz jam on the Cape, which is a monthly thing we do at the Island Merchant and Hyannis. And a number of these musicians have appeared, including Julian Jackson. There are concerts across the Cape for jazz at the Cultural Center in Yarmouth, Katuitt Center for the Arts, the Cape Cod Museum of Arts in Dennis. You can catch Julian there every year. Cape Cod Jazz Festival right here in Harwich at Wequassett. The Arts Foundation of Cape Cod produces summer concert series. And of course, up in Provincetown, we have the jazz series at the Art Association Museum. A couple other things, the Provincetown Jazz Festival, where Paul and Lou have both participated. It's August 12th, 13th, and 15th. And we have a free bus leaving down here, thanks to Plymouth and Brockton. And, you know, this event right here is really a summer event. It's a great event. You'll find that Lou and Paul will have a great ensemble. We have a terrific DJ right here who's going to do a little MC for us, which is Julian Jackson. He may even sing a few. And then
I heard him chime in here.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and then we
singing
have
DJ.
Yeah.
yeah, the singing DJ. Then we have Steve Ahern and Bruce Abbott and a number of other musicians who will be appearing.
Would you like to add to that at all, Julian?
I would. From my perspective, from my work at WOMR and now WFMR, I can tell you that we're a community radio station and we respond to the needs of the people who listen. And the demand for jazz just keeps growing and growing and growing. We now broadcast, I counted it up before I came here this morning, we have 6 3-hour jazz shows throughout the week, so that's 18 hours of jazz on WOMR and WFMR. Just last September, we added a repeater station out of Orleans, WFMR, so now we really are community radio for Cape Cod, and the response to jazz is strong and overwhelming. So we're happy that it's growing, and I'm happy to be part of this event.
Are you, I mean, it's very intriguing, gentlemen, that this sort of old cultural history is being resurrected here and honored in this way by all of you who are so talented, and it's a wonderful echo to you know, to celebrate Harwich in this way, because you know it happened here. And thank you, Paul, again for your genius in that. And did you want to add something?
No,
to
well, you just brought to mind. To me, jazz is the original American art form. So it just, it ebbs and flows, but it never goes away, and I think it's coming back more strongly than ever. So it's going to be a great evening.
Very well expressed there. So we thank you. If anyone else have any further thoughts, or are we're going to get to take a pause here and hear some more music so that you will see a treat of what you're going to experience.
Going to play us off, fellas?
This event is June 30th. Mark your calendars. And it is going to be at the Wychmere Beach Club. And the tickets are $40. And you will have some wonderful table snacks and desserts. And there will be beverages there. And room for dancing and looking out at the harbor. The beauty of the place is astounding. We thank the Wychmere Harbor Club for allowing us to hold our party there, and we really want you to come. Additionally, where can you get tickets? Well, there will be flyers around town and with the information on the flyers, but right now, if you want any information, full information, you go to the Harwich website, the Town of Harwich website. That's www.harwich-ma for Massachusetts.gov. And also the tickets will be sold here in Harwich at Reed Books in Harwichport, the Cove Gallery on Main Street in Chatham, at Snow's Home and Garden at the center of Harwich. They just moved in, and we congratulate them and wish them great success in their enterprise there. And it's across the street from the Ruggies restaurant. And that's Snow's Home and Garden selling them, and also Puritan Clothing is helping us with these ticket sales in Chatham, on Main Street in Chatham, and also Main Street in Hyannis.